Welcome back to another My First Car podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dan, with your other host, Geoff.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Before we get started, let's just remind everybody, check us out on myfirstcarpodcast.net. Did I get it right?
No.
Myfirstcar.net.
Yep.
Nailed it. Nailed it. And all the relevant links are on that website. And we appreciate everyone's support and the Patreon peeps and all those wonderful people who follow us in all the social medias and all those things. So, Geoff, apparently a mystery has been solved.
The mystery has been solved. So last episode I asked to find my rims. My Nissan Rogue has some random Infinity rims on it, and I asked the people on our Reddit, reddit.com/r/myfirstcarpodcast if they could find where these rims were they're from.
It didn't take long, did they?
Didn't take long at all. I was kind of disappointed. I thought there'd be more to it. It was just the first person's like, oh, here it is.
2014 Infinity Q50. Now, what year is your car?
2016.
All right, so they didn't come from the future.
No.
Just double checking.
Yeah. So Q50 sedan. And he put up a picture there. Yeah, seems pretty legit.
And that was Cone Dodger who came up with that, isn't it?
Yeah.
He is a wealth of knowledge, that Cone Dodger.
Look
we love our
at
Cone
that.
Dodger. We might even have him on the show.
Maybe.
Sometime soon, because he is he's a geniacal. I think that's how you say it.
Geniacal.
Is that how you say it? Did I say it wrong?
That sounds like a disease.
It might be.
Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. So we found it.
If you are wondering what wheels you have on your vehicle, maybe head over to the Reddit, the subreddit, and ask. And I'm sure Cone spends his day, searching through the subreddit trying to answer questions. I'm sure he will oblige and answer all of your questions.
There you go.
Yeah. We've got news.
So this one's. I don't know if you saw this. Someone with an Aston Martin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. I would assume that you have an affection for other Aston Martins.
Yes, absolutely, especially the older ones. But yes.
Okay, so recently, I think just a few days ago, actually, Aston Martin is building a one-off V8 powered Cygnet.
Yeah.
4 point. Okay, so can you do me a favor and describe this picture?
Okay, so it looks like a smart car with fender flares, with an Aston Martin badge and grille on the front, Recaro racing seats. It looks like there's some giant brakes hiding behind those wheels, and for good reason.
Yeah. So like exactly, it looks exactly like a smart car. It might even be a smart car body. I don't know.
Well, it's a Cygnet. I think a Cygnet is made by somebody else, isn't it? Let me research that while you go through some stats there.
So so just imagine a smart car with giant fender flares and huge rims and brakes, and a 4.7 liter V8, 430 brake horsepower engine inside that thing.
Wait a minute. My mind was just blown.
Okay.
Aston Martin actually makes Cygnets?
Really?
Yeah, like they have, that is their, what? Like, I think it's a Toyota IQ maybe underneath. So if you just Google Cygnet car or whatever, you will see Aston Martin makes them.
Oh, but it's the Toyota IQ.
Right. Now, is this a car you could actually buy at some point?
It's a rebadged variant, was marketed in Europe as the Aston Martin Cygnet.
Really?
So they're taking, what? Aston Martin is taking a Toyota IQ 1 liter inline 3-cylinder engine, 1.3 liter, what? And rebadging it as a Aston Martin?
They totally made this thing from 2011 to 2013.
Holy crap.
So they actually made the Cygnet. From 2011 to, like, you could buy one of these things. This is it's blowing my. How did I not even know about it? I guess it's a European thing. Those crazy Europeans.
Seriously.
I'll tell you. Wow. This thing actually looks really cool. Would I ever drive one? Probably not, even with the Aston Martin badge on it, because it looks a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, it does look insane.
Like yeah. And I'm sure it's a rolling death trap.
Oh, for sure. It completely looks like it.
Can you imagine? Like, it's the V8 from the Vantage S. Okay? And they slapped it in a car that probably weighs less than my toaster.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That is insane. And I'm hoping those the wide or the fender flares and the wide stance will help it not roll over in corners, because that's the first thing I see it doing.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Is rolling over in corners.
0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.2 seconds.
That's insane for a car this small. This is ridiculous. How do they even squeeze that thing in there?
1,375 kilograms fully loaded with fluids.
That's 2,000 pounds or something, right?
Holy crap. I have no idea.
I'm going to convert it. 1,375 kilograms to pounds. We're doing it. We're looking it up. Oh, 3,000 pounds.
Oh.
Okay, that's a little more than... What? I said 2,000? Oh, right, it's
Yeah.
2.2. You got to multiply by 2.2. Got it.
There you go.
3,000 pounds. That is surprisingly heavy. So, 3,000 pounds... that's only 800 pounds less than my 07 V8 Vantage. That's crazy.
Yeah.
To think about.
Understand.
Where's all the weight coming from?
I don't know. The rims?
Yeah, it's really heavy. I mean, the engine's super heavy, obviously, but that car does not look large, and it's not large.
They fit it? No. How'd they fit a V8 in there?
I know. It's like it's got to be riding shotgun. Like you're driving, and the engine's next to you.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's happening right now.
Like, the interior is all carbon fiber, all, like, race ready.
Oh, man. I would love to drive one to test it out, but man, are they selling this thing? No, this is just a one-off, right?
This is just a one-off.
Okay.
I guess just to have... maybe they're testing the market to see if this could be a thing and bring back the Toyota
The
IQ.
Cygnet? Yeah.
The Cygnet.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, quite a tidbit of information there. That is unbelievable.
I did not know.
And now I'm gonna bore you with much less interesting content. But I thought maybe, I mean, it's not much less interesting. It's actually pretty cool.
Yep.
It's been making the rounds on social media and stuff. The new Porsche 911 by Singer looks incredible, gorgeous inside and out. And I am not like a Porsche guy. You know, I like Porsches. To me, they all look way too similar to be special. But this thing is like one of those, it's just, there's something about it. And it looks amazing.
I know, I probably can guess exactly why you like it, because it looks like the old Porsche.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The old Porsche.
It looks identical to like I don't even know what year that would be, but it looks like an old one.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Like this thing is beautiful. I implore you guys to go and click the links in the description in YouTube, or just I guess if you can't do that, search up Singer Porsche 911. It'll probably be the very first thing that comes up. 500 horsepower, which is impressive. A 4-liter flat six. It's inside the interior looks the stance on it. There's nothing I can say about this car that won't justify or that will justify the way it looks. It's just beautiful, and I would love one.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I like the way they went with it. It's very much like I think it's supposed to be like a 90s Porsche 911. The engine in the back looks insane.
It looks pretty crazy. The exhaust, you can see the exhaust I guess pipes.
Yeah,
through through like the rear mesh. It looks really cool. Really cool looking car. Like Singer makes some amazing stuff, and I'm sure our friend Matt Farah. I keep calling him Matt Farah, like after the UFC fighter.
Yeah, I don't know if he likes cars. Maybe
he might. Hey Matt, you want to come on the show? I'm sure Matt knows all about this car. He's probably drooling. He's gonna buy one.
The profile of this thing, like when you look down at it's perfect. Some of these pictures.
I honestly couldn't. I don't think I could. I would change a thing about it. It looks perfect to me.
Yeah, I'm not a big Porsche guy, but this one, I'd get this one. It reminds me of when I was a kid. I think I had probably a 90 or late 80s Porsche 911 model kit.
Yeah.
And it was white, so it looks like identical to this one with a big, huge, giant flip spoiler in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It is a cool car. They did an amazing job, and I mean, maybe if they want to sponsor the podcast by sending us.
Man, the interior.
I know.
Woo.
I know. Top to bottom, they killed it.
They've done it like so it basically is a race car. Everything in there that is black is carbon fiber.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like they don't have door panels, but they have like reinforced, but like, what color is that? Suede?
It's like a
tan.
Exactly. I would say tan. Yeah.
Like a tan, not roll cage, but
tan. Everything that is anything that's cloth is all like a tan, or sorry, anything that's like a leather or cloth or whatever. I'm sure it's leather, is all like a tan material. And then everything that's black is carbon fiber, including parts of the steering wheel. Yeah. Momo steering wheel, carbon fiber.
Those Recaro racing seats with the tan?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Holy
they're tan leather Recaro racing seats.
Whew.
I would love to know how much this thing weighs. I really would.
That's a gorgeous car. I like that. You did a good job.
Yeah, they sure did. They sure did.
It's only 500 horsepower.
Well, that's why I'm looking for the weight.
Yeah. I'm sure it's heavy it's heavy.
Yeah. I can't find any specific numbers for it. I don't think it's heavy. I really don't.
No?
No, I really don't. I think it's a lot lighter. I think it's probably about as light as that Cygnet.
Well, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Oh, man. Yeah, that thing's cool.
Beautiful car. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to lesser things. What'd you see this last week?
Okay, well, this was a few days ago, but I was actually walking around with the kids, and turned down a street that we don't usually go down, and in a driveway was an old dude working away on his car, and I was like, "Oh, that looks cool." It's a Studebaker.
Really?
Yeah, one of the weirdest, oddest looking cars ever.
What year was it? Because they changed quite a bit.
Yeah, it was 50s, so I think a 51 maybe.
Okay.
With the weird circle in the middle of the front.
Yeah,
bumper.
like the bullet nose looking thing.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, those are weird looking cars. I like the classic cars. Studebaker's never really appealed to me, and I think that's why it's just kind of a strange look.
Yeah,
you know,
they were trying for something new, I think, something different. But this one was black, and it was mint condition. It looked really nice.
I've been seeing a lot more classic cars on the road, and it's making me very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like especially down my street. Like just the other day, I was bringing the trash in, and an older model, I would say 50s, early 50s, I would say, Ford F-150, slammed, black and red, white wall tires, just came rolling down the street, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. That's the only truck I would buy.
There you go.
The 50s trucks is the only truck I would buy. But it looked beautiful, and then I saw a couple of convertibles, like classic convertibles. I'm seeing a lot more of them. It's such a good time for me.
Yeah, it's nice. And this guy, he was more than happy to show it off to us.
Oh, did you actually stop and talk and stuff?
Yeah, oh yeah. My kids were like, "What is that?" And so we had to check it out. All black, mint condition, everything.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool, and he was quite proud of it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And especially if he's done work on it himself.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That always helps.
So that was a cool sighting. I didn't see it driving. I don't know he didn't really mention if it starts or not.
It doesn't run.
It might not even have an engine. I don't know. But it looks cool.
Yeah. My sighting was much less cool than that, but I thought it would be kind of cool to mention because you can be rolling around, apparently, in an Alfa Romeo Spider, late 70s, early 80s, for around, I don't know, 5 to 10 grand here in Toronto, in Ontario, because I saw one on the street the other day and it looked really cool. It was very, very, I think it was like a light, I'm trying to find it. It was like a lightish blue, and it had really like the typical racing wheels you see on the older cars. Top was down, guy was just cruising, wind on his scalp. He was bald. He was bald. But it looked really, really good. And I'm like, an Alfa Romeo Spider. Okay, that's got to be worth some coin, right? And I went and looked it up. And if you look it up on our local classifieds, you just type Alfa Romeo Spider in classic cars, you will see they range from, the high end, you're looking at 19 grand. But you can own an Alfa Romeo Spider for $4,900.
Wow.
Excellent condition, this one apparently, is what the guy says it is. Excellent condition. $4,900. This is Canadian, so that's like $150 American.
Yeah, give or take a few bucks, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought that'd be kind of cool, like, well, I say like I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I have enough. But if somebody's looking for a fun summer car, it really did turn my head. And you see a lot of them. I just maybe hadn't noticed them until now. especially the one in that light blue color. That looked really, really good. But yeah, Alfa Romeo Spider, top down, wind in the scalp, $4,500 or $4,900 if you're so inclined. Yeah, exactly. I like it. Good job, guy. Oh, there's one here for $3,500. Look at that.
Woo.
Yeah,
sold.
$79, $3,500.
Just don't tell my wife. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that looks really cool.
It was a good sighting. I wanted to give the guy the thumbs up, but I had my hands were filled with driving wheel.
Driving wheel.
Yeah,
good. 2 hands on the wheel.
Exactly. We don't break any rules on this podcast.
No cell phones. No nothing.
I guess we should get to our guest. Pretty awesome guest. Take it away, future me, past me. Our guest today is Matt Whitman, who is based out of Lander, Wyoming. Very familiar with Lander. Great place, Lander, Wyoming. I've never been there. He's known for his YouTube channel, The 10-Minute Bible Hour, and co-hosts the podcast No Dumb Questions. Matt, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for letting me hang around.
Yeah, no problem. How's fishing down there in Landon?
I'm
Lander. I knew the place.
Landon, you're picturing the guy. You're picturing the guy from Little House on the Prairie. And that,
yeah, absolutely.
I think he played an angel in some kind of show or something as well. But whatever the case, no, it's Lander, and it's going really well. Things are really starting to heat up. I caught my first ever tiger trout this week, which is a super rare. It's like a mule, the mule of fish. It's half brook trout, half brown. Can't reproduce. Beautiful. So
holy cow.
Yeah, I'm in a good place mentally.
Is it delicious?
I would not know. I am not Gollum. I do not catch things out of the water and then rip it apart with my snaggly teeth. That's cool.
That would be fun, though.
I guess.
I just pictured you kneeling down on a rock.
Yeah, build-wise, it's not that hard to imagine. It's really not. I have the same haircut as Gollum.
Exactly, yeah.
No regrets.
As you get older, I find everybody's got the same haircut as Gollum, unfortunately.
Making sense right now, too, Dan. No, seriously, guys. Thanks for letting me bum around. And yeah, it's a pity that you're not familiar with Lander, Wyoming. It's a pretty cool place, especially this time of year. So if you get bored, this is Magic Land. It's like the real live Wild West with mountains and cowboys and bears and stuff.
Never been to Wyoming, but I would love to go.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
and beautiful too.
Yeah,
it's spectacular. Just love it. Where are you guys at?
We are both in, I'm in Toronto, and Geoff is a little north of Toronto, actually, in good old Ontario in Canada.
Cool.
So, Matt, what do you see when you look out your window, your best view window? What do you see?
Oh, I carved a giant hole in my house so I could better seize on the best view window. What I see are 13,000-foot peaks that are, 10, 12 miles away as the crow flies. You got my house that sits up on a hill. Then the hill drops off, and it just goes straight up into the mountains. And elk come down through there. You can see elk from the living room at our place from time to time. Every now and then they make it up into the cul-de-sac. That's pretty cool, too. So it's really, really pretty. I ran into a bear about 2 miles from my house one time. So it's legit west, guys.
Well, there was a squirrel in my yard today, so we're pretty much in the same boat.
Good eating.
I look out my window and I see a house.
Right next
also
to your
good.
house.
Yeah.
It's reassuring.
Yes. It's very, very different, I imagine. All right, let's get down to the brass tacks, the nitty-gritty, the real deal, Holyfield. We want to learn about your vehicle history.
Okay.
Before telling us about your very first car, let's start with everything you've had since your first car.
I'm 81 years old, so I have had a lot of cars. Did I say 81?
81 years old.
That's rounding up to the nearest 81.
Okay.
The point is I've had a lot of cars.
Can we be honest? How old are you, if you care to share?
I'm 42.
Okay.
So it's like 81, but half.
But half minus 3.
Yeah. Our math is sharp.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I look out because I'm one of those guys who I like to trade my vehicles in all the time. Not even trade them in at a dealer, but I like to sell them and move them and get new stuff and move it around. So, I've got like 9 hours before my next appointment. So I hope you guys are good to go.
Yeah, I'm free. I'm good.
Let's do this.
Okay. All right. So right now I drive a truck because I live in Wyoming, and I'd never had a truck until I moved to Wyoming, and I felt weird and inferior with that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and got a truck, but I wanted one that was more cowboyish, even though I'm not at all cowboyish. So I drive a King Ranch F-150. It's not new by any means, but it smells like a baseball glove. It is worn to a healthy degree and rugged. It is cool.
What year is it?
It is 6 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 6 years old now. So,
that's the one with like the nice brown embroidered leather and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in those. I for the record, I am not a truck fan at all. The interior in that truck is actually not bad. I've seen it. I've been in it, and it does smell like a baseball glove all the time.
The nice trim packages on F-150s, like that cockpit is sweet. It just it is masterfully worked out, especially compared to all other trucks. And I'm not one that just hates every brand I don't drive, but I really like the cab on the F-150. The back seat on those super cabs is insane. I can sleep all three of my kids back there and the dog if I want to.
Nice.
Huge.
Gee, Dan, this is why I want a truck.
You don't live in Wyoming. You look outside your window, you see another house.
Yeah. You know what's in the back of my truck right now?
What?
A big Yeti cooler filled with ice where I drag around beverages all the time so I won't spend money at convenience stores when I want a beverage. So it just sits in there.
I was hoping you'd stop at a big Yeti. That'd be amazing.
That would have been better. You can edit. It's fine. Like none of this needs to sound like what I actually said. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. And I have a generator in there because you got to power the camper, which you park up in the mountains all summer long. So I got the generator in there, and then I've got some backpacking stuff, and then all my fly fishing gear, like waders and boots and 3 fly rods and all of that. Like it's a very Wyoming bed of a truck.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I kind of think so.
Do you put
The bed of mine, if I were to have a truck, it would probably be filled with jerry cans of gas because my drive to work.
You avoid stopping at gas stations, just pull over and just drop a jerry can in.
Yep.
Does anybody drive a truck in Toronto?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are lots of trucks here. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately. I mean, they're great.
Man. So where I live, I'm surrounded by farms. Like the outskirts of my town is surrounded by farms. So everyone around here drives a truck, but it just doesn't make sense if you live in the city. There's nowhere to park.
Yeah. No.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's fair. I drove the F-150 through Lower Manhattan last month, 2 months ago.
How was that?
Didn't see a lot of big King Ranches.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, saw a lot of those toaster-shaped Scions, but no F-150s.
Toast.
Yeah, it worked out. You got the folding mirrors, so every now and then you just pull them in to make sure you're not.
Oh, do you have like those
really
really wide extended mirrors?
No, mine are. I have the full tow package on mine because I actually do use it for that.
Okay.
But I've got the lane change assist thing, so you don't need the giant old school towing mirrors anymore.
Okay.
Which is nice because then you can have the power fold in thing, which makes you look cool at drive-ins.
Yeah, fancy.
So anyway, okay, we did the truck thing, and you guys are 100% anti-truck and 50% anti-truck, respectively, which isn't so bad.
I'm 100%
pro-truck. He's pro-truck.
Oh, well, okay. Well, majority
100%.
rules. Trucks are good. There.
My drive to work is about an hour and a half.
Whew.
So I have a tiny little car.
Yeah. Well,
A toaster. He drives a
kind
toaster.
of like a commute. Podcast time.
Yeah.
Do you drive a
Exactly,
toaster?
yeah.
Do you drive a Scion?
No,
It's
I
close
don't.
enough.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's better than a toaster.
It would be so easy to just do a little bit of body work on one of those and make some like fake bread that pops out of the top, and everyone would know what you were getting at.
That'd be
Everybody.
amazing.
As you say that, I'm picturing my car, and that 100% would be, it looks like a toaster.
Yeah, it kind of works. Okay.
All right. Anyways.
Before the F-150, the previous meaningful vehicle was a 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, optioned out with everything that a person could want in 1999, the year The Matrix came out. So you can picture like the technology at that point was like phones that you push a button and it clicks out aggressively like a knife. So all the technology you would want in an era where that was cool, it has all of it.
Did it have a CD player?
Yes. What if you want to listen to a CD?
Okay, just double checking.
Yeah.
Because if it's just a tape
man.
player, I don't know if I could accept this.
Oh, no, it has both.
Okay. Oh, both.
Which is great
Wow.
because then I can use the tape adapter to listen to things on my phone. Yeah, I have a tape adapter in there. I'm not kidding. My wife drives that one now, and it's cool. So I bought that one. I think I got that for $2,500 in Sioux City, Iowa, in like mint condition, other than the 150,000 miles or whatever that were on it. Mm-hmm. So I got that a few years ago, and that was my favorite vehicle ever until the truck. Wow. And great for goofing around in the hills again.
I can imagine.
Before that, I decided to get my wife a Mother's Day present because we were kind of in the prime of inconvenient kids getting in and out of vehicle phase a few years ago. And so I bought her a Ford Freestar minivan, a 2005. Again, impeccably clean, like your grandma vehicle. And the reason I know that is because it was just on the side of the road with a sticker on it. It was like, for sale, I'm a grandma. I was like, oh, I believe you. And she literally cut up floor mats. Like you know that you would roll your fancy wheelie desk chair on to not destroy the carpet. You can picture this? Yeah. She cut them out with like an X-Acto knife and made them all fit to cover all the carpet on the entire bottom of this minivan so that her grandkids wouldn't ruin it. And then I immediately pulled that crap out and we just ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah, turned a profit on that one, by the way. Drove it for like 4 years. Sold it for more. Feel good about that. I'm going to high-five your microphone right now. You can edit that out.
You ripped off the grandma is what you're saying.
No. She was in full control of all of her faculties, and she made a business deal. And we negotiated carefully, and we're both pleased with what happened. So
Grandma's got to do her research. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. You know, hey, she knew what she had in it. I know what I had in it. Worked out. So then before that, I very briefly had Dodge Durango, like the newer body style. Didn't like it a bit. Immediately sold it. I don't have any memories of that, good or bad. Just didn't like it. Before that, we had a Subaru Outback, which is a very Lander, Wyoming car.
Very nice.
It was gutless. I just felt like if we were going up a hill, which is common when you live in the mountains, like something could just go wrong at any given moment. It could just start going backwards. And I didn't like it. So we got rid of that one. I had a Trailblazer for a little while. That was okay, but again, felt kind of rickety. And then for like a week before that, I had a Chrysler Pacifica. Do you remember these things from the
absolutely
mid-2000s?
Pacifica.
What was going on with that?
They were fully loaded usually.
I think I might have been bewitched by the fully loadedness.
Yeah. Oh, was it a bad car? Did it turn out to be a bad decision?
I hated it, man. Oh, I flipped that around. I flipped that around in like a week.
Wow.
Like, I can't do this. This is horrible. And didn't take a bath on it. It worked out okay, but
well, that's good.
Yeah, it was a little good.
Now, I remember when I was like, I used to work for Auto Trader, and I was like shooting cars and stuff. And out of all I guess they're considered crossover vehicles. I don't know if you consider them an SUV. Definitely not a minivan. But out of all those vehicles, when I got in the interior or the inside of those things, I always thought the interiors were like really, really cool.
Yeah, I don't really remember the interior of that. I mean, I remember thinking it was fine. It felt like, if it's going to be like this, why didn't we get a sedan that would get better mileage, or a van that would be easier to get in? It was it was a crossover before crossovers were figured out.
That's the thing with crossovers. I still don't like them because you go one way or the other. Otherwise, don't sit on the fence. Just decide one way or the other.
Yeah, there's none of those that I'm particularly attracted to. So that was my one little dip the toe in the water moment with the crossover thing.
Never again.
Never again. Before that was probably the vehicle to end all vehicles in my adult life, and that was a 1999 Saturn SL1. That was our first grown-up married purchase. We bought our first house when I got my first grown-up job in 2000, and then we went and got a Siberian Husky and a Golden Retriever, and then we went and bought a Saturn SL1, and those were our grown-up purchases.
And they fit in the back of that vehicle, those dogs?
Yeah, those dogs shed a little bit, it turns out. And so that kind of became a part of the vehicle, which is a pity. But that thing was great. I mean, mid 30s fuel efficiency. Well, I don't know how you do it in Canada. Mid 30s miles per gallon. So like good, like top 90 percentile of goodness. Had a sunroof and all the cool options. How do you do it?
That just goodness. It's all
goodness
scale.
That's our scale, the goodness scale.
This is quantifiable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one was great. I only sold that a few years ago. I did not turn a profit on that one, but I got 15 good years of car.
Wow.
Out of that. So that was
15 years. I cannot imagine driving the same car for 15 years.
No, me neither now. And not because I have to have new stuff, just because I just like goofing around with cars.
Yeah. Did you do anything to it? Any modifications or anything, or just left it as it was?
I went ahead and just left it exactly as it was. All of the money that I had was spent on actually buying the $10,000 sedan. We weren't really in a place to get fancy.
Plus, it was perfect the way it was.
It was pretty much perfect. I mean, it had all the things you would want. It was great. I always had this dark, secret, lustful impulse toward the 3-door coupe that Saturn made. I was like, oh, they have 3 doors and the front is pointier. That looks awesomer. I want that. But I don't think I really understood. I don't think I want a 3-door coupe.
Mm-hmm.
No. Now, do you like sports cars, or are you just more into like the SUVs and trucks because of where you live?
Yeah, because of where I live. I mean,
okay.
If you don't live here and you have a sports car and you can go whipping around mountain roads in it, it's really fun until the pavement runs out. And so everywhere you want to go and goof around like that, you're going to end up in dirt and gravel and mud and stuff. So it's just not a place for that kind of thing. Not a lot of people do it here. Yeah. We're getting closer to first car.
Okay.
Like, how are we doing pacing-wise here?
We're doing pretty good. I wanted to know what color your SL1 was, actually.
It was the forest green, the super dark green with the little flecks of sparkle in there. So it was fabulous also.
I remember seeing a lot of champagne-colored SL1s back in the day.
Oh, those were awful.
Yes, I was just going to say I was not a fan of that color at all. There was too many of them. Okay, but forest green, not that bad.
My admissions department at my college went out and bought a whole bunch of, what came after the Tempo? It was Taurus. They bought a bunch of Ford Tauruses in the mid-90s, and they got them all in champagne.
Oh.
And they were just
brutal,
humiliating to drive around Chicago in the champagne Taurus. I just, hat, sunglasses, just hope nobody would figure out who I was. Because everybody cares.
Is there a certain age where the champagne color makes sense? Because my father-in-law has started buying champagne-colored cars.
Oh, no. Does he wear socks with his sandals? Does he have a sunglasses lanyard?
He doesn't. Yeah, well, sunglasses, yes. The sandals, he doesn't wear sandals because they're not. I don't know.
Oh, does he wear Bermuda shorts? Does he wear Hawaiian shirts on casual weekends when he's grilling?
All of that, but he's from Northern Ireland, so I don't know what that has to do with it. But
cargo pants with a tucked-in golf shirt, maybe.
Oh man. I'm not ready, guys. I'm not ready.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's getting serious.
There's going to be some stupid thing that everybody in my generation decides to wear when we get into like our late 50s and early 60s, and everybody's going to make fun of us, and we're going to be like, you guys are idiots. You don't know what cool is, and we're going to wear it anyway. So my time's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, I'm going to laugh at them. So before the Saturn SL1, this is where it starts to get into like the fun zone.
Okay.
I bought like a let's say a 93 Isuzu Trooper. It looked a little bit newer body style wise, and it was super cheap. It had tons of options, but all of them were broken. And I felt really cool driving that around as a poor young man.
Wait, what was that?
An Isuzu Trooper.
You remember these?
I do remember them. Yeah, I remember. I saw more of the. What was the smaller version of the Isuzu around that time? Was it the Rodeo? I think it was. I used to see a lot of Isuzu Rodeos.
That sounds right. Yeah, I kind of lumped that in with like a Suzuki Samurai.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, now, is it called a Samurai? What was their little Suzuki?
Suzuki?
No, it's not a Samurai. That's a bike. It's a. Yeah, what's that adorable little Geo Tracker like Suzuki?
Sidekick? Is it a Sidekick?
Sidekick, yes.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that. It was a little bit more manly.
Yeah, no,
But,
they actually looked like full-size SUVs.
Yeah, they seemed legit. I mean, it wasn't because, again, nothing actually worked. But there were so many buttons you could push. Like if you were 3 and you could drive and you were in that phase where you were obsessed with buttons, it would be the car for you.
It's funny, the front end looks like a GMC, like the old GMC minivan, or a giant van, but the old GMC vans. It's weird.
No, I mean, it was more attractive than... That's hurtful. It was more attractive than that.
Just the front, the grill, maybe.
I think I see what Geoff is talking about, and I agree. It looks like those, just those work vans,
I think it looks
kind of.
hot.
Maybe it's the color, like the gray bottom part there that's painted gray.
Yeah, maybe. What color was yours?
Like a super deep plum purple.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was. It's not as horrible as that made it sound. I don't know. I don't know. But people were driving purple cars in the mid '90s. Remember, like Chevy Blazer had their purple 2-door Blazer thing that they did for a while. Mm-hmm. That was a big deal. The '95 purple Blazer. This is because I'm a Colorado Rockies fan, and so they had just initiated. They were a brand new franchise. I was like, I should get something purple.
The purple.
It makes sense in my brain.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so we had that Trooper briefly. Then we went through this phase where I lose track, but we had multiple Oldsmobile 88s. Not
Oldsmobile
1988
88s.
Oldsmobiles.
Okay.
Oldsmobile 88s. You tracking with me?
What
those
year
had-
were they?
Maybe one was an 88. They were all right around there, like late 80s, barely into the early 90s, Oldsmobile 88s. And I think we had 3. It's possible we had 4. My father-in-law kept buying them because he could get them for cheap in Nebraska.
Why?
And then, you know what? Okay, here's the thing. They're ridiculous looking. Like they look like just, quintessential 80s conservative vehicle. But they have that BA 1980s GM 3.8 liter V6 in them. And so they're really efficient. Those things would get, 27, 29 miles to the gallon. And then you get like this ridiculously plush luxury ride, which you don't want as a young man, or you don't want to admit it. But when nobody's looking, it's really nice.
Were any of them supercharged?
No. I know that they can top 140 because Montana did not have a speed limit when I was in the late 90s, and I was leaving college and going to law school at the University of Montana. And when we hit that border, I had heard rumors in the pre-internet days that there was no speed limit, and we got to the border as a married couple with no money in our Oldsmobile 88 with our stuff in the back, and the sign said, Montana speed limit, reasonable and prudent, which to me is 140.5 miles per hour.
Of course.
Yeah.
Were any of the 88s 2-doors, or were they all 4-doors?
No, Dan, all 4 doors. I think 2 or 3 were maroon and 1 was gray.
Okay.
And the gray one's the one I took to Montana and raced a Shelby Mustang.
What?
And I don't know if the guy had a governor or if
lady.
he just quit, but about 117, he just bailed. Just disappeared. And I was like, oh, I got plenty more. And then I blew out a coil pack, and it cost all the money I had for moving. Because I burned that up like an idiot. Like, my understanding of cars, push gas pedal, go faster.
Age-old rivalry, the 88 versus the Mustang.
You hear about that. Well, point, Oldsmobile 88.
Yeah, you win.
Yeah. And then the eternal cars that I had through late high school and into college were 2 Toyotas. I had a Toyota Corolla. It was a 4-door. Mm-hmm. If you like got boxed in or something, you could just put somebody on each bumper and just count to 3 and lift deeply with your knees, not your back.
Do you remember what
Move the
year
car
that
somewhere.
was, that one?
That was an 1984 Toyota Corolla.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, under the hood was the simplest, the most intuitive thing like you'd ever see. Is like an idiot in a pre-internet days. I'd go in there and just be like, something isn't working. I should be able to see what it is.
Yeah.
And you just look until something seemed wrong. And there's one time that I think the throttle is kind of exposed, and you can see it on that year, make, model. And there was like a spring that got stretched out. I was like, why is my throttle being weird? I can't rev the car properly anymore. The spring just got worn out. And so I had this little spring that kind of connected up at the top of a screen door. And so I took it off of there, and I was like, well, I don't know, let's just cut this down a little bit and try it. And I put it on, and it ran on that thing all the way up over 300,000 miles. So
nice.
I don't even actually know if that's what it controlled, but I put a spring on there, and it didn't work before, and then I put a spring on, and then it did work, and then it kept driving. So that's all I can attest to.
You're a car wizard.
Thank you for that. I've never been called that before, but I'm actually just going to write that down.
Add that to the list. It's funny. There seems to be a huge aftermarket want for these cars, for the '84 Toyota Corolla. They're still selling and souping up, and
no one is buying a 1984 Toyota Corolla.
Yeah, you can get them everywhere.
You are kidding right now, right? Nobody has these.
Oh, this one was just sold, so we missed it out, but it was for sale.
They're probably pretty popular with tuners and modifiers because of how simple they are and their classic styling.
Yeah. Classic box styling.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Was yours the hatch, or was it 4 doors or the hatch?
It was the 4-door mini sedan. It was
mini sedan.
Sky blue, 4 doors. Those doors were so light. If you pulled up too close to somebody, you could just kick it open as hard as you want, and it's like a sword fight between like a well-folded sharp piece of steel and some garbagey made in Pakistan. I bought this at the mall nunchuck store piece of steel, and it's just like you couldn't damage anything with the doors. They would just like melt on contact with rocks or posts or other vehicles. They were so flimsy. And I was just sure, like, one of these days we're going to get an accident and this is just going to burst into flames like a bonfire. It is a death trap, but never happened. I got 56 miles to the gallon out of one tank on that vehicle.
Holy cow.
Wow, look at that.
It just kept getting better as it aged. I was probably that spring.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
It's definitely the spring.
Yeah.
If you're interested in buying one, like I said, one sold last year. This is the listing I found is from 2017. 4,900 Canadian.
What?
$4,900 Canadian.
It's more than we paid when we got it as a family.
It's appreciating in value.
1989. Come on now.
It looks nice. They've taken good care of it. It's the 1984 Corolla LE.
I respect those people.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're selling. People are buying them for some reason.
All right. I stand corrected. I had a Toyota Tercel, nicknamed the Snowcat, because it was front-wheel drive hatchback, and it handled so vigorously in snow. I guess you could probably see that one coming. And that's the car that I drove to college. And then I let at the time, I'd like her to be my girlfriend friend drive that. And she rear-ended an SUV of some rich suburban lady on the North Shore of Chicago. And she was not wearing a seatbelt, so she put her face through my windshield, which was disappointing for all parties.
Yeah.
And then because of that, she felt all guilty. This is first semester freshman year. And we decided to go in together as a non-dating couple. No, this is sophomore year. As a sort of dating couple, we decided to go in together to buy a Dodge Daytona, which made less than no sense then or now.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. No, go ahead and say all the things you need to say. Just get it out.
Well, there's so many.
How did that work out?
Well, we have 3 kids.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, that's good.
So it worked out great.
Yeah, I guess so. No, we bought the Dodge Daytona fall semester, and then I was going to go home and do like what I'd always done, like sit around, play Super Nintendo, hang out with my friends probably. And she was like, well, you're getting a job over break, right? Why? Because we have to make a payment on that car. I'll come up with it somehow. Like, I was still in the, I don't know, I'll figure it out. Like, how much can it be? Like $50? I'll come up with $50 somewhere, whatever. I can do that every month somehow. And she wanted me to get a real job. And then it occurred to me, like,
the nerve on her.
Take this relationship seriously. And then I did. And then we got married later. So that's pure magic. This is
a movie in the making.
Yeah, lots of them. It ends in a King Ranch. I don't know. There might be something after the King Ranch.
Well, yeah, you got to get your champagne-colored car after this one.
Yes, that's next on the list.
So we're down to the final. We're down to the final three. I don't know how I'm doing time-wise here, but I feel like the pace is close.
You're good. You're good.
Final three high school vehicles going backwards. I drove a 1974 Mercury Comet briefly.
Whoa.
Okay, I need to Google that.
It's cool. It's like the...
Oh, wow, that is cool.
It's a sweet vehicle. It was awesome.
Holy cow.
Real hard to start in the morning when it's cold, but once I got going, it was just a tank, but the kind of tank that's enormously fast.
Yeah.
You drove a muscle car to high school?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah, I had like the brown sort of saddle leather colored one with the white top.
Oh, yeah.
It was neat. Yeah, I like that car.
Nice. That's my favorite out of all your cars so far, I have to say. As much as I like the Pacifica.
Now, did you have the two-door or the four-door of that one? Because apparently
that was the four-door.
Oh, yeah.
Four-door. Yeah.
That thing's huge.
It was a substantial vehicle. Wow. And it would just go when it was in the mood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before that, I drove what had to be like a 1978 Buick. It was a giant Buick. Like you can picture like the almost limousine, like super soggy suspension, light green luxury ride thing with an 8-track player.
Did you say light green?
Light green, yeah.
Wow. Like, your color choices
not quite lime. that were not taken into consideration. The color had absolutely
nothing.
No factoring into any of these decisions. No, these cars all happened to me.
Was that also a four-door?
That was a four-door.
Okay.
And I had that in the age of the Discman. So I would put in an 8-track to cassette adapter, and then I would put in a cassette to headphone out 1/4-inch adapter, and I would plug that in, or 1/8-inch, whatever. I would plug that in to my Discman, which would then skip because the shocks were so sloppy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
The
fact that you even got that to work is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've never actually heard anything from Ace of Base's first album without interruption or skipping. But like if you put all my attempts to listen to it together, I think I've heard it all.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome.
At least once.
Great.
I did my best.
And then there's one more you said?
The first car was a 1979 Datsun 210 hatchback.
Whoa, 79 Datsun.
It's a popular car.
Yeah, don't confuse that with a Nissan. I
currently own a 71 Datsun 1200.
Oh, well, that's actually cool.
Well, hey, I'll take it. Was the 79 Datsun a four-door or two-door?
It was a four-door hatchback.
Okay.
With
four-door
wood
hatch
styling. Yeah, fake wood styling, but wood styling. It was kind of that 70s brown and 70s tan with a dash of 70s orange. That was the look.
Straight up 70s.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
The seats were obliterated, and so we had like, I don't know if like an aunt or something had a leftover beaded car seat that she gave me, and so I was rode on that. So I'd ride around and I would sound like just all the beads were clanking underneath me in my sweat while I drove. So that was weird, and I can't remember.
That's a cool car, though. I mean, out of all the first cars that we've heard, we don't hear a lot of like Datsuns as a first car, you know. And a 79 Datsun 210. That's that was also one of those cars that it was obviously stick shift, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's another one of those you lift the hood and you know where everything is immediately.
Yes.
So probably at the same time you had that car, or well, maybe a few years apart, Destin had the Datsun B210, I think.
I think that's right.
Yeah, he had the Datsun B210. Yeah.
This occurred to both of us once in some conversation somewhere. That sounds credible to me.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Did he talk about the Supra when he was on?
He mentioned this. And
All
the
right,
great
that's
deal.
good. Yeah, well, the Supra to him is akin to what the transition from the Tercel to the Daytona is to me. Yeah. It's the this woman is wonderful, we should get married car. So, well, they were already married, but you know how it is.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The really goofy thing about that Datsun 210 is that the ignition was just so wrecked after a couple 100,000 miles, just worn down, that you could take any key or shiv or anything that would fit inside that hole and twist it, and that car would start. You could start it with anything. And my favorite ever was my girlfriend in high school was kind of doing the Flojo nails thing, and she had some real long, like, reinforced thumbnails on. And I was like, hey, try to start the car with your thumb. And she was able to put her thumbnail far enough in that she could start the vehicle. It was kind of a proud moment. Yeah, that was our best moment as a couple.
It's a matter of convenience.
Which is why we were not married.
Oh, okay.
And the key to the Comet would unlock my friend's 1988 sky blue Ford Tempo, and he did not know that.
Really?
So I constantly do things to his vehicle with my Ford Comet key. Not like key his vehicle, I mean get into his vehicle and put things in there and move things around.
Now, briefly, for anyone, I'm going to break this for a second. For anyone listening, a lot of you probably don't understand. There wasn't a button on the key that would unlock his.
Right.
You stuck it in the keyhole, and you had to.
You actually had to. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's probably wild for people to think about now.
Yeah, that is messing with my brain.
Huh. Out of all the vehicles you've owned, other than the King Ranch, I guess, because that's probably your favorite, but out of all of them, which one would you say, if you had the money, the time, the patience, the space, which one would you, I guess, rebuy?
The Comet.
Yeah. I would have
the
to
Comet,
agree with you
for
there.
reasons I'm telling you and reasons I'm not telling you. There's some family. Yeah, you know what? It's okay. Yeah, all right. When I got done with the Comet, I gave it to my kid brother, and he basically pulled a ninja maneuver to avoid killing a super old lady who immediately lost her driver's license after this accident out in the country in Colorado. He did the most incredible ninja move that maybe has ever been done in a Mercury Comet, and saved this woman's life, and in doing so, obliterated that vehicle. And somehow he walked away from that. And the reason that's a somewhat sensitive story is that my brother did die in a car accident a few years after that. But it's one of those things where I try to bring it up because I really he's really cool, and I don't know, people die sometimes, and it's fun to remember that they were cool and awesome, and I really don't want it to be weird. So it's not weird.
Right.
Hey, that happened. It's super sad and everything. But for me, that Mercury Comet, the reason I would want that is because it has those connections with my kid brother, and I miss him. So,
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, like I said, somebody crack a fart joke or something, because I don't want it to be weird.
Well, what do you call a cow with no legs?
Fart? I don't know how that fits.
We don't have fart jokes. My kids are too young, so they just say the word fart and they giggle.
Oh yeah, it still works on me too. Okay, good. I feel like we segued out of that beautifully.
Perfect. Farts are yeah.
Geoff, of my list, are you going with the Comet as well?
Yeah. That the Comet is the coolest one. I think the coolest looking one for sure. But I can't. Well, you already have the King Ranch, but I'd like your King Ranch.
It's kind of fun. You know what you guys would really like driving that would surprise you, though? Are those Oldsmobile 88 3.8 liter V6s. They're way punchier than you'd figure. Someday you're going to see
Mustangs.
one, and you're going to have a chance. They can beat Mustangs.
There you go.
They can beat Mustangs.
I kind of want to find one and drive it just to... This thing's amazing.
Find the first Mustang on the street.
Yeah,
they have tiny little joysticks that you can use to move around your mirrors and your seat. They have little joysticks.
I think my family might have had almost the same exact car. Because it looks really familiar.
It looks familiar probably because it looked like every other car in the 80s.
That's true.
Yeah, you're right.
And when you mentioned the joystick thing, that brings back childhood memories for some reason.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, talk to somebody in the family about it. See if they ever gave it a little gas, because they would remember.
Now, giving it gas, obviously the truck isn't. It's pretty powerful, but it's not a race car.
The truck is obscene. No, it's the big V6 twin turbo, the EcoBoost.
Oh, yeah.
Those are not what you would figure. I scoffed at that so hard when I first started shopping for a truck. I was like, why would I get a full-size truck and put a V6 in it? And then I drove one. Oh my. It's worth a try. Yeah, it's worth a try.
Now, obviously, owning a sports car doesn't make sense in where you are, but if you had the time, location, money, etc., is there like a ridiculous sports car that you would get in a second, or that you like?
Each new incarnation of the Corvette has been prettier over the last 3 rounds, and the newest incarnation is sick. I would really have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, those are pretty fancy.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The newer Corvettes are amazing. However, there was a time there in the 80s where I wasn't really feeling it. I think anytime after like the 60s, when we started going with those big fender flares, I think they lost me for a little while, but then they brought it back in like the 90s.
Yeah, and then I didn't care. I don't have my Corvette history like right in front of me here, so I didn't care for one expression of the Corvette, maybe in the mid or early 2000s, something like that. I felt like it took a step backwards. Mm-hmm. But the last two have been moving the right direction.
Yeah, last one's really nice. I really like the what's it, the Z06 or Z06 if you're American.
Yeah, I don't know. The cool looking awesome one.
Would you get yellow?
I'm lame. I'd probably go red. Yeah, that's kind of predictable. I'm sorry. You know what? I really dislike the Michael Bay Transformers movies, and yellow in a sports car has been absolutely wrecked for me ever since then.
It's hilarious. My son has not seen, my younger son hasn't seen any of the Transformers, but anytime he's seen, I think it's Rescue Bots or something.
Oh yeah.
But anytime he sees any yellow car, doesn't matter make, model, year, doesn't matter, yellow car, he yells out Bumblebee.
Oh dear.
I know.
Yeah, that meant something once. Michael Bay. Thanks a lot,
Michael
pal.
Bay. Yeah,
That guy.
He directed Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, he sure did. You know, Lemon, there's nothing like the heart of a volunteer. Oh.
And he's got... Okay, anyways, that's enough Michael Bay.
Yeah. That's enough Michael Bay.
You know the vehicle that I really want but that doesn't make any sense here? I would just love to have an electric vehicle to cheat gasoline, just because I think it'd be fun. Like when it's cold outside in the mountains and we're staying up there, like I'd like to sleep with like the windows on the camper open so the cold comes in and you put a bunch of blankets on. You're like, take that cold. Like I want to do that, but with gasoline by driving an electric car, specifically a Tesla. But I live in the most remote place in the entire continental United States, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna find any places to plug in when you run out of juice.
So for me, yeah, I'd get one in a second because again, my hour drive to work would make perfect sense in an electric car.
Oh yeah, you're the perfect candidate. Are you saving up?
Yeah, I'll probably be on schedule to get one in 2045, I think.
That's about the schedule they're releasing them too. So
There you go. Yeah.
You're all set there.
Technology will have advanced at that point. Maybe I'll get my own.
There you go.
The new Model 3 Tesla is only like 45,000 Canadian, I think, base model.
When was you guys' last speeding tickets?
Ooh, Dan has a lot of them.
I have 3.
That's not
speeding
a lot.
tickets.
That's 3.
And the last one,
It's fewer than a lot.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's that many. The last one was like two or 3 years ago in a Range Rover, actually, going like 15 over. It wasn't even that bad.
Oh, that's not eventful at all.
No, not at all. They've all been like that though. Like I always get caught in like residential roads by going like 10 or 15 kilometers over the speed limit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, around Toronto, there's not too many places that you can actually
No.
really speed without
No.
turning a corner.
Yeah.
A few years ago, actually, I've gotten away with speeding more often than I've gotten speeding tickets.
Oh boy.
Well, I would hope everyone has gotten away with speeding more often.
Yeah.
But speeding tickets.
But I mean, like, gotten away, like the cops let me go.
Oh,
without a
so they
ticket.
pulled you over.
Gotcha.
And you gave him
So
the
I
puppy
just-
dog eyes.
No, I flash them a little bit of skin. No,
Oh dear.
no, this is a clean podcast. So, the actual last time I got pulled over for speeding ridiculously fast, I was going, I think 120 kilometers an hour in an
That's
80.
Oldsmobile 88 speeds.
In an
Yeah.
80, okay.
In an 80 in the middle of like northern Ontario. So there's not a whole lot there. I was coming home from the military base and just happened to turn a corner. There's cops told me to pull over. I put on my beret from the Canadian military.
That's
And he said, "Oh, you're just going home for the weekend?" I said, "Yep." He's like, "Okay, well, have a good weekend and slow down." I was in full
pretty good.
uniform and everything, so that's why they let me go.
Yep.
Wow, that doesn't hurt.
It's a well-deserved
Yeah.
perk, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I got out of one last fall, something like that. Somebody, an older gal from church who I'm just enormously fond of, just radiant, wonderful, sweetheart grandma type lady, and yeah, some stuff went wrong with her heart, and it was really touch and go, and like I don't know, I needed to get down there, and so I loaded up the family and I drove aggressively with my Wyoming plates across Wyoming to Salt Lake where she was in the hospital, and I thought I might get pulled over, but I also know that I have Wyoming plates in Wyoming, which really helps here.
Okay.
And yeah, the dude who pulled me over, so cool. I hustled up alongside. I did what I always do if I get pulled over, anybody's approaching, all lights on,
Yeah.
windows down, hands plainly visible, warm greeting, like just everything they would be concerned about, try to address. And he came up and asked if I knew how fast I was going. I told him the exact number. He agreed. He asked what the rush was. I told him I'm a pastor and somebody from my church, an older gal's, in tough shape, and she's at this hospital, and I need to get there. And he's handed me back my stuff and was like, "Be smart about it, man. Good luck." And that was it.
Oh.
That's
that was
good.
it.
That's nice of him.
Yeah,
So pastors
get a
and
hat.
veterans can get out of anything.
I guess.
Man, imagine what you
Yeah,
can
I-
do
you
if
know
you
what, if-
combined your powers.
Yeah, well, honestly, like if he would have ticketed me, that would have been fine. I was
Yeah.
prepared to accept that. I just needed to get down there. So I just thought it was super extra nice that he didn't that time around.
Totally.
pretty sweet.
Shout out to you, police officer. I'm sure you're listening
No.
today.
Kidding.
Now, curious, what do you think would have been the cost for that ticket? Any idea?
I bet a couple $100, something like that.
So for the ticket that I didn't get for going 120 and 80 would have been them towing my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd guess. Driving with intent to kill.
Well, actually, it was the same. So I forget what year it was. Maybe 2009, 2008. It was the year the actual weekend they introduced the new law where if you're going over, I guess it's 40 over the speed limit or something like that, they will immediately tow your car on site.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, Canada.
I know, right? That's the real meaning behind the "Oh Canada" lyric in national anthem. It's like, oh Canada.
You read my mind.
mhm.
I really like Canada. Part of what I like about Wyoming is laws are more interpretable when it comes to victimless things.
Yeah.
Nobody hurt, nobody put in danger. Look, we can probably work this thing out, kind of thing. And I don't mean with bribery. Nobody's doing that. I just mean there's good common sense here amongst the law
Right.
enforcement types, I think.
So I think you might have the biggest list of cars.
I
I gotta double check here.
Yeah, he might.
didn't give you all of them.
Ah, he did. He even held some back for us.
Oh
I
my
did.
goodness.
I did. I cut some corners in the interest of time.
You had some good ones though.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for being interested in my car story. No one else has ever asked me that question, and it was kind of fun to just run it down.
This is what we do. We ask people interesting questions about their vehicles. that's our MO.
I'm honored to get to be a part. Thank
And
you.
we really appreciate having you here. really enjoyed your car history and all the different things that you mentioned about the cars and how you got them and why you got them, and Oldsmobile 88s. Apparently, you love a lot of them.
I guess
You should get another one. Why not? For old time's sake, they can't cost that much nowadays.
You got me thinking. No.
Yeah. Thanks again for being here. And again, if you want to check out Matt, you can check out the channel, the 10-Minute Bible Hour, and you can listen to the podcast, No Dumb Questions, where he co-hosts with his friend Destin Sandlin, who we've already had on the podcast. So this is great. We got the whole team.
The whole
Excellent.
team. Now, Matt, I just want to throw in this real quick. How many cars do you think you didn't mention?
I can just give you a direct answer to that. Let me see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4.
Wow.
Possibly more.
Yeah.
You beat Matt Farah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You beat Matt Farah at something that has to do with cars.
I don't know. Take that, Matt.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah. Well, we are in an internet fight.
You are now. All right. Thanks again for joining us. Have yourself a wonderful evening and a wonderful week and weekend and all that good stuff.
You guys too. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Geoff.
Thank you.
And that's going to be our show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. He's got a long list of cars.
Yeah. He's got too many cars.
Too many. I didn't even mention all of them.
Ah.
We want to remind everybody to support us on Patreon if you can and if you so please. Join the episode discussion on reddit.com/r/myfirstcarpodcast.
Yep.
Submit your car photos on myfirstcar, reddit.com/r/myfirstcar. Of course, you got Twitter. Yeah, /myfirstcar podcast. I'm trying to do this all from memory. It's amazing. No, I'm not. I'm actually looking at the thing. YouTube.com/myfirstcarpodcast. And then you've got Instagram, which is at myfirstcarpodcast. And I guess that's it. The website, of course, myfirstcar.net.
And new Patreon perk. We now have a Discord server that a bunch of guys have jumped on, and we're having chats and talks and stuff.
And there's a general channel and there's a car stuff channel.
Yeah.
And I've been on there, and a couple of cool things have popped up already.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw somebody mention that they looked at that. They were looking at their next car being that Datsun Roadster.
Yeah.
And then they had that picture. Okay, so
I think that's Matt.
Before I bought my 71 1200, I saw one of those, and I really wanted to get it. And I asked Cone Dodger, actually, who we mentioned earlier on in the show. I'm like, Cone, do you think this is a good investment? He's like, I would stay away from it. Because apparently the ad said it hasn't run in a couple years. It might need some things, but the car looked mint.
Yeah.
And I've regretted it ever since.
Oh, man.
Because you don't see them come on very well. The same with my 1200, but you don't see them come up very often. And now looking at that picture that was posted on our Discord channel, I really kind of miss it.
Man, Matt. So Matt, buy it. Get it now.
Yeah, you should. Honestly, you should. Those things look really cool. And if it's as easy to work on as the 1200, you could probably do everything yourself. Anyway, we should say goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening.
Just like that. Yeah. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it.